Hello, everyone. Welcome to Gone Academy. Today we'll be discussing dopamine. You may have heard this word being thrown around by self-help gurus preaching its negative effects, or internet personas deeming it a happy drug. This video series aims to explain the science and logistics behind dopamine. Let's get into it. Dopamine's molecular formula is C8H11NO2. In order to better understand this, we need to look at its structure. Using some methods learned in class and others that we haven't been taught, we can name this structure. First and foremost, we notice that there is a cycloalkene, benzene in particular. A benzene ring is an aromatic, characterized by its 6 carbons and double bonds at every other carbon. Next, we notice the 2 hydroxy groups. However, because they are part of the main carbon chain, which is the benzene ring, they are not hydroxys but alcohols. In order to have the lowest sum of indexes and prioritize the OH groups, we will name these 1,2-diol. Next, we notice that there is a carbon chain substituent attached to the benzene ring. This chain has 2 carbons and therefore is an ethyl group. However, it's important to note that there's an amino group at the end of the ethyl. Looking at the amino's index on the ethyl, which is 2, we can name this whole substituent as 2-aminoethyl. And because it's index 4 on the benzene ring, we can name this 4,2-aminoethyl. This gives us the full UPAC name, 4,2-aminoethyl benzene 1,2-diol. However, there are other systems such as the tyramine system, which would give it different names, such as 3-hydroxytyramine or oxytyramine. Now, onto the physical properties. Dopamine's strong bonds from the benzene ring and the hydrogen bonding from the 2 alcohol groups results in its high boiling and melting point. This is why its most common state is as a solid crystal. Pharmaceutical uses of dopamine will often have it as a clear liquid solution of dopamine hydrochloride. In terms of classifications, dopamine is considered a catecholamine neurotransmitter. It's one of 3 that the brain uses: dopamine, norepinephrine, and epinephrine, also known as adrenaline. With greater than 50% of the central nervous system's catecholamine content being dopamine, it can be found in many different areas such as the central nucleus of the amygdala, the olfactory tubercle, and certain areas of the frontal cortex. Dopamine is also considered a sympathomimetic, which is any compound that directly stimulates androgenic receptors and indirectly releases androgenic transmitters. In other words, it causes a physiological response from the sympathetic nervous system, which is related to your fight or flight response. Lastly, dopamine is considered a cardiotonic agent, which is any compound that strengthens the heart or increases cardiac output. So that's it for today's video, where we discussed dopamine, how to name it, given the UPAC naming system, its other names, its boiling point and most common structures, as well as some of the bonding within the atom.